I am back again with a bare face today because I'm here to do another first impressions, and this is of a palette that I was so excited about as soon as it got released, and it's the Linda Hallberg Spectral Palette. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try this one out. So if you want to see my first impression thoughts, some swatches and a look using this palette, then keep on watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video, we're doing another first impressions video, Linda Hallberg Spectral Palette. I am so excited for this palette. I picked this one up from Beauty Bay and it did take a little bit longer because I brought it from Beauty Bay. The shipping from Beauty Bay is very slow and it takes forever for the tracking numbers to update. It doesn't really update until pretty much the day you've received your package. But with Linda Hallberg, when I purchased from her website last time, it was on my doorstep within like 2 or 3 days from Sweden. So if you want your package straight away from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics and you're purchasing enough to reach the free shipping cap with her website, I would 100% recommend purchasing from her site because the whole experience is so nice, and the shipping, like I said, it was on my doorstep with my last package within a couple of days. Whereas Beauty Bay, yes, they have everything, but it takes forever. So this is what the palette looks like. It is beautiful. This packaging is stunning. Oh my gosh, this like picture of Linda on the front palette is just beautiful. It's really like abstract and editorial. It's beautiful, and the packaging, it's like a laminated cardboard. It is 100% vegan. It is made in Italy and all the ingredients are printed on the back of the palette, which I really appreciate. A lot of the times it's only printed on the box, and once you throw the box away you have no idea what the ingredients are. So I really respect that she has put basically everything that is written on the back of the box on the palette. And then opening it up, this is what she looks like. Oh my god, I'm so excited. As soon as I started watching Linda's channel, I just fell in love with her. Love Linda's makeup that she does on her channel. So as soon as this came out and it was something different for her brand, I was like, yes, yes, I really want to try this. This palette looks beautiful. This palette cost me $90 from Beauty Bay for 8 pans. A hefty price tag, but in the scheme of things, her 4-pan palettes are very expensive in themselves. I think the 4-pan palette that came out at Christmas time was $90 alone. So in terms of pricing for her brand, it's pretty on point, but in terms of pricing for makeup, it is pretty expensive. Let's start doing some swatches. First we have dim, and then we have faint. Ooh, that's a pretty colour. Faint. Then we have eerie. That one's a little bit patchy. I'm just going to go back over that one again. Eerie. And then we have abstract, which is like the duochrome blue topper shade. And I'm just going to go back over that one again as well. Illusion, which is a very chunky glittery shade. Then we have Occult. I'm just going back over that one again. Then we have Phantom. That is a pretty colour. Phantom, and then we have Unknown, which is the lucky last colour. So some of these shades, when they apply, they do come off a bit patchy, but they do seem to be building a little bit. But we'll see how we go when we have a brush to apply them. I'm going to start off by priming my lid as usual with my MAC paint pot, and I'm going to set it as well today just to see how these work with a dry base. I think to start off with, I'm going to take a fluffy brush, this Zoeva 228 crease brush, and I'm going to use the point to kind of do a bit of a cut crease, but quite a diffused blended cut crease. I'm going to go on with Unknown first, and I'm just going to tap my brush off to begin with. Just placing this right in the inner corner of the crease. Just working my way out. And I'm just going to blend this up. So up towards the corner of my brow and back. Just for something different, I think I'm going to like blow this out towards the brow bone quite a lot. I generally keep it quite tight on my inner corner, so just as something different I might blow it up. Then I'm dipping into Eerie and just going from that edge and continuing along my crease and blending up towards my brow.
That's a pretty colour. I like this purple colour.
They are powdery in the pan, but not overly powdery. They don't kick up all that much. And they seem to be blending nicely on the dry base, but it's not like a really intense colour, which is what I wanted to go for with this look today anyway. Like I wanted to have it really diffused. Almost like a kind of like a barely there colour, but obviously there is colour there. Then dipping into the colour Occult, which is the deep burgundy purple aubergine colour. Just continuing that, and I think I'm going to wing it out a little bit today. I'm having a little bit of trouble with it on this eye, but I'm not going to hold the palette against that because my eyes have been in such bad shape lately, so they are quite dry and rough and whatnot at the moment, so I can kind of understand why it's not really working all that well on the outer corner. I'm going to go back into Eerie and just back in this center section here, just kind of re-amp that. I'm going to go in with Phantom on the lid. That's a pretty colour. I like that colour. It's like exactly what I thought it would be. I'm putting this on with a fairly fluffy brush as well. And then I'm just going to take a more precise brush, like a smaller brush, and go in with Occult. And I'm just going to stamp this on the outer corner and blend it into Phantom. And I'm just going to go back in with Phantom, just re-intensify it. And I'm just taking Abstract and on a fluffier brush as well. I think these are going to work better with a fluffier brush. I'm just laying that over the colour Phantom. Just going to go in with my finger. I've done my full base and I'm back to do the rest of my eyes, so my under eyes, and I'm still deciding whether I'm going to include a wing or something like that. But to begin with, we might do the lower lash line. So I'm going to start off by running Occult just to connect the outer corner and the lower lash line. And I'm just using my Super Beauty smudge brush that I always use. I think I'm going to do a little bit of Eerie, and then I'll do Faint the rest of the way. And then Faint on the inner corner. On a pencil brush, just going to put Illusion on the inner corner. And then lastly, I'm just going to go in with the colour Dim, and I'm going to use this as a blush. Eerie and Unknown to that blush, so just a tiny dip in both. Alrighty, so this is the final look that I came up with using the Linda Hallberg Spectral Palette. So my first impression thoughts on this palette. It's not exactly what I thought it would be. I am a little bit disappointed in some of the colours, but at the same time I really like some of the colours. This area right here is quite patchy. I tend to have a lot of trouble though on this eye in this area here though with darker matte colours. So when I say patchy, I'm talking about this occult colour. I don't really like how Occult has paired with Unknown and Eerie and Phantom. Just feel like it made them a little bit muddy. I'm really keen to try this palette with like maybe one or two shadows where I can like blend, for example, Phantom from the lid through past the crease out and blend it out really well, and then maybe just add one of the toppers on the lid. I think that's going to look beautiful. I think this palette lends itself to looks where it's really blended and it's really soft and faded, and I think that's probably the best way you're going to get this palette to perform is when you have those really soft, blendable, like almost very faded, barely there looks. I think that's going to make this palette look beautiful. In terms of the shimmers, I have the colour Illusion on my inner corner and Abstract on my lid. A lot of fallout, like a lot of fallout. I thought I wiped it all away, and then I looked up really close in my mirror and there was so much more fallout than I thought there was. And Illusion, these colours need a sticky base. Like Abstract has stuck to my lid and Illusion has stuck to my inner corner, but they could be so much better if they had a sticky base. So I think for these glitter colours, especially if you want them to stay on your lid for one, and if you want them to be really intense, you're going to need a glitter glue. And if you want this colour Illusion, if you want to build it up, you're going to need a glitter glue because the inner corner is very flaky, like it's very barely there instead of like a really bold shimmer like it looks in the palette. It's very glittery, and you can tell that when you put it on without a sticky base. Same with Abstract. I had a lot of trouble trying to put this on with a brush. It picks up really well on the brush and it looks like there's a lot of pigment on the brush, but when you try and lay it down onto your lid, it just doesn't work. I used a fairly fluffy brush, Pinched Blender, which is what I have been leaning more towards with shimmers lately. I've found that this type of brush picks up shimmers a lot better, but I might try a packing brush next time with these shimmers, and I might even try maybe a foam applicator with these shimmers and see how that goes with these shimmers, because a fluffy brush doesn't work with these shimmers. My finger, it worked all right, but I really had to kind of swipe it onto my lid for it to stay there. I don't know. I do really like this. This pink is really nice, and this purple Phantom is beautiful. The mattes so far are my favorites. This one here as a blush, what a surprise. What a surprise. So I will definitely be grabbing this one out more for a blush. This green I really would like to work with a little bit more than just a tiny little bit on my lower lash line. So far really enjoying the mattes except Occult. These ones just have a beautiful look on the eye. They're just a really nice, soft, pastel-y color when it comes off on the eye. Beautiful. Like I said, this palette wasn't what I expected. I had a lot higher hopes for this palette, I guess you could say, but I still think I can figure out a good way to work with the palette, with a way that I am going to love the palette. So far I'm enjoying about half of the palette as opposed to the whole palette. I think the packaging is beautiful, but I don't know whether at this stage with the look that I came up with, whether I really think that this is worth $90 Australian. I think that's a very hefty price tag for an 8-pan eyeshadow palette when it gives this kind of look. I do think it's a really pretty look. I think it's a beautiful palette. I just don't think it is worth the $90 price tag. I think you could get definitely a similar look with other colors that you already have in your collection. If you already have similar colors like a purple, a pink and a green, if you apply them on a very fluffy brush with a very light hand and blend them out really well, you're probably going to get a similar effect. I feel like in the crease it's kind of really not muddied, but it has like the colors kind of disappeared and it's kind of just turned into a bit of a grey. I think the problem with these colors is if you play with them too much, or if you try and lay too many colors over each other or blend them into each other too much, it's going to turn into a bit of like a grey color rather than a nice seamless blend. Depending on what colors you blend into other colors in this palette will depend on obviously what that blended color in between the two turns out like, so you will need to be careful with that and the colors in this palette. I hope that all makes sense. Let me know down in the comments box if you have picked up this palette and what's your favorite look that you have created so far with this palette. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you like these first impression swatch look videos. Also, if you are new around here, I hope you would consider subscribing down below so you can keep up to date on all my review videos, all my first impression videos and all the other random content that I come out with every single week. That's it for this video, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.